China recently allowed its families to have up to 3 children. The change in May came just 5 years after it had increased the limit to 2, abandoning its controversial one-child policy. After more than 35 years of the one-child policy, however, the impact of these recent changes will not likely be felt soon in China. The one-child policy, one of the world's strictest family planning policies, has had far-reaching effects on Chinese society. When China's one-child policy took effect, the population was growing rapidly, and the Communist Party believed the growth was undermining economic development. The new policy restricted most couples to a single child. It was strictly enforced through fines as well as forced abortions and sterilizations. One of the clearest effects of the law is an unbalanced sex ratio. Because of a centuries-old preference for boys, some families aborted female fetuses, put girls up for adoption, or committed infanticide. The unbalanced sex ratio brought a host of problems, including a surplus of bachelors, an epidemic of loneliness, and the trafficking of women from other Asian countries. The one-child policy also led, as intended, to fewer births. The Chinese government says the policy prevented as many as 400 million potential births. Demographers note, however, that China's average rate of births per woman was already falling in 1980. Demographers also say that even without the one-child policy, birth rates would have continued to fall, although it is not clear by how much. The declining birth rate led in time to another potential problem for the government, an aging population that strained the economy. The number of working-age people fell as the number of those over age 65 rose, burdening pension and health systems. In response, the Communist Party relaxed its one-child policy in 2016, letting most families have up to 2 children. After the change, births increased briefly, but the surge was followed by a decline that continues today. Families cite high costs and long work hours as reasons for not wanting more children. Another reason, having to care for elderly parents without the help of siblings, another effect of the one-child policy. Further compounding the problem are new social norms shaped by decades of the one-child policy, favoring smaller families. China's latest census shows the population is continuing to age, which led the government to allow up to 3 children per family. The census, released in May, revealed a record number of low births. The average number of births per woman was 1.3, on par with that of other aging societies, and below that needed to maintain the size of the population. The data also show that the percentage of working-age people continues to decrease. China's Labor Ministry predicts the percentage could shrink to 50% of the population within decades. At the same time, the percentage of older Chinese increased in the past decade. To encourage bigger families, the government has promised to offer more support to couples, but it has offered few details. The Communist Party also said it would gradually phase in new retirement ages, creating further societal changes. China's current population is 1.4 billion. It is expected to peak in 2025 before shrinking.